Okay, so as I was saying, the first thing we check is diagonally, then we check vertically if diagonally doesn't work. Okay?
I was talking to Mr. New.
Mm-hmm. So, are we covered for fractions? Are people mostly comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one more. You should have space at the bottom of your page. Let's do 15/27 times 15/35. Is that a good one to go straight across? No, why? Numbers are too big. So where do we check first? Diagonally. Do 15 and 35 work together?
Yeah.
What number goes into both of them?
5.
5. How many 5s fit into 15?
3.
How many 5s fit into 35?
7.
7. Do 15 and 27 work together?
Yeah.
What goes into both of them?
3.
3. How many 3s go into 15? 5. How many 3s go into 27? 9. Now, make another check. We've checked diagonally. We better check vertically. Are there any verticals that work? Oh, 3 and 9 work, don't they? How many 3s go into 3? 1. How many 3s go into 9? 3. And what am I left with? 1 times 5, which is 5. 3 times 7, which is 21. And now I'm done with giant numbers. Is everybody cool with that? Okay. We're good with fractions? Okay. So you'll need to turn your page over. And here we are at mixed numerals. Remember how in adding and subtracting you had a choice. In multiply and dividing, there is no choice. Okay? When multiplying, mixed numbers, we must go improper. We must. It's not an option. Okay? And the reason why we must is this drawing thing here. You can't make a rectangle with mixed numbers because it wouldn't work, would it? If we keep these separate, it's 2 times 1, right? But it's also 2 times 3/4, isn't it? And it's 1/5 times 3/4, but it's also 1/5 times 1. So you can't do the split up thing. You have to go improper. All right? So let's do that. But before we do that, this guy's negative, this guy's negative. Are they the same sign? So the answer is equals positive. So do I care about these negative numbers?
No.
No. So what I really have is 2 and 1/5 times 1 and 3/4, yes? But we have to improper them. So, everybody go ahead and do that. Remember what you do. Times plus, and go in the circle. So what do I have? 11 over 5, and 7 over 4. Now, do our checks. Do diagonals work? No. Do any verticals work? No. So if neither of them works, it's not going to get any simpler. So we got to go straight across. What's 11 times 7? And 5 times 4? 20. Am I happy with that answer? Yeah, it's the right answer. I'm okay with that. But you could also simplify. How many 20s go into 77? 3. And what's left? 17. Cool?
Could you keep it the same way
Yes, I'm perfectly fine with that. Is everybody good? Okay, so let's run through these. Now remember, this is just to show work. You might not need that many steps, so you don't necessarily have to do it. But I would recommend that in your notes you follow every blank so you have something to study from and you can create your own shortcuts. Understand? Okay. Just want to make sure this is actually recording. Yes, it is. Okay. So, here we go. First thing I'm going to do with that, I'm going to check one negative, one positive, yeah? So there's a negative and a positive. So my answer has to be negative. I'm going to write it down at the bottom right now. Now I can forget about it, right? Okay. So I got to make this guy improper. So what is it? 5 over 4. Now, once I have it all improper, I can forget about the negative, can't I? Because I know it's going to come back at the end. I've already written it down. So I've got 5/4, 6/7. Right? 5 times 6, 4 times 7. Check. Oh, wait, crap. Sorry. I just wrote the same thing twice because I'm a dummy head. Check here. Check your diagonals. Does anything work?
Yeah.
What? 5 and 7 works? No, because we're dividing. 4 and 6 works. What works with 4 and 6? 2. How many 2's fit into 4? How many 2's fit into 6? 3. So now what do I have? 5 times 3 and 2 times 7. What's 5 times 3? 15. 2 times 7? 14. Am I happy? Yes. Can you change it? 1 and 1/14. Cool? Okay. Now, look at the next one. Do you have to follow all my steps? You do not. You can develop your own. But what must you do? What is the one thing you have to do that I do? Change it into improper. After that, you can work on it at your own pace, yeah? So everybody go ahead and try that one. Eight.
Isn't 77 over 10 the same thing as 7 and 7 over 10?
That's what I just wrote here. 7 and 7/10.
That's the same.
Yeah.
It's just written in.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like we did here. 15/14 and 1 and 1/14. Everybody cool? 2 things you have to remember. 1 has to be improper. When? When do you have to make it improper? When it's mixed fractions and we are multiplying or dividing. You have a choice with adding and subtracting. You have no choice with multiplying and dividing. Okay? We'll talk about division in a minute. We're going to do multiplying just first. So is everyone cool with fractions and mixed numbers? Check diagonally, check vertically, multiply. Everyone good? Okay. Now you guys aren't stupid. Rational numbers aren't always fractions, are they? Rational numbers can be decimals as well. So, 1, the sign rules are the same. Positive, positive equals positive. Negative, negative equals positive. Positive, negative equals negative. Everybody knows that already. Now, you are going to multiply these with a calculator, always. It's the way you work. That's fine. But it will help you later in math to understand what to do without a calculator. And most of you remember, when multiplying, you multiply without the decimals. And I'm going to highlight the without. Multiply without the decimals, then count them for your answer. Forgot the S in answer. Most of you already know that. You remember it. If you don't, we're going to go over it right now anyway. Okay? But we're going to do a couple of things first. So, in 2009, the price of a share in the Bank of Montreal changed by negative $3.05. Joanne owns 50 shares. How much money did she lose that day? If she owned one share, how much money did she lose? $3.05. But she owned 50 shares. So what math do you have to do to find out how much she lost? Penny? Multiplication. So here I need to do 50 times negative 3.05, correct? Cool? Now, two ways to do it. One is with your calculator. Now guys, one of the biggest mistakes kids make with their calculators is when they see math written, they don't recognize that the math that is written isn't necessarily what gets punched into your calculator. Okay? And kids make mistakes there. And then they believe their calculator instead of their own brain. Right? So before you even punch this in, what should you do? We talked about it yesterday. Estimate. Isn't 3.05 pretty close to 3? And isn't 50 times 3 150? And since that's negative, it has to be, my estimate has to be negative 150, correct? So if I do my math with my calculator or without, and I get something that isn't close to that, I know I've done something wrong. Do you see how that 1 second can be helpful? So on our calculator, to punch this in, your calculator, some of you have a very smart calculator. Look at mine. This is the smartest calculator you can buy. Some of you may have this one. This one will work. Watch. 50. And then I'm going to punch in exactly what I see. Bracket, negative 3.05. Close the bracket. It's exactly what I've written here, yes? Equals. My calculator can do it. Most of your calculators probably can, but not necessarily all of them, and not necessarily every calculator you would ever have. Picking up what I'm putting down? So some calculators will do this just like you see it, but some you will need to know what math is happening. So here's what you would need to push. I like to write my calculator buttons in green. 5, 0, the times button, the negative button, 3, the decimal point button, 0, 5, equals. Is there anybody in here's calculator wouldn't do it with the brackets? Everyone's calculator worked with just the brackets? Sweet. Well, then I guess I didn't need to write all that out, did I? Calculators have gotten smarter because we have gotten dumber. The guys that made calculators, not the guys because there's women involved, the people that made calculators recognize that we are losing our ability to know what is going on, and we are trusting machines more. So they are changing calculators to do what is written on the page because they don't trust us to actually learn math. The calculators that you guys have, this, I could not have punched into the calculator that I was allowed to use when I was your guys' age. I would have had to punch it in this way. Okay? This way teaches me math. This way teaches me how to use a calculator. Do you understand the difference? The math will be, I can use it forever. The calculator, I can't. When the zombie apocalypse happens, and we have no batteries anymore, and we need to do math, because we will still indeed need to do math when you decide how to divide up the one crate of canned corn you find between you and your whole crew, and you don't want to say claimed, like on Walking Dead, you better do some math. And if you don't have a calculator, which you won't, you'll be in trouble. Don't worry, you can all be on my crew. I'll save you all. Okay, because I am Rick and Shane from the first season mixed together. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. You would be Carl, getting shot in the eye and screwing everything up. Okay? Sorry if you're not on season 6 yet. That was a bit of a spoiler. Carl gets shot in the eye. Glenn. Well, don't get too attached to him. Because you can't get attached to anybody in Walking Dead, because they'll kill anybody. They don't care.
So sad. But does that mean they're off the show? They keep them off the show and fire?
It depends. They kicked one woman off the show because she kept getting caught drinking and driving, so they just killed her character.
The one the pregnant one?
That's why the comics, or the TV show is different than the comics. Because they can't work with some of the actors, so they fire them. And that's why the story has to change. Michonne is not the same as she is in the comics. Huh? I watched Prison Break when it was actually on. And it was awesome for the first season when they broke out of the first prison. But when those morons got caught in a second prison in Panama, I stopped watching because you guys are idiots. You got out of a prison. Why are you in another one? And I hear that Netflix has like 3 more seasons of those idiots getting caught in prisons. Oh my God! Don't get caught! Dumbasses!
It's on YouTube.
Whatever it's on, it's stupid. But the main guy from Prison Break, Wentworth Miller, he's Captain Cold on The Flash, which is really wicked. The Flash is so good. It's such a good show.
Yeah, it is. Because they're my.
What?
Oh God! Did you know that he's homosexual in real life?
Who cares?
I'm just saying.
Why?
Yeah. No, the guy from.
Wentworth Miller.
Pardon?
Wentworth Miller? That's the actor. That couldn't mean less to me.
Is that the guy
Just saying.
Yeah? You're just saying why?
Just saying.
Why? It's not important. That's like saying he's got short hair. Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters about that guy is he's a good actor, because that's what he does. He acts. Everything other than him acting on a TV show I don't care about, because that's his job. Just like everything I do after 1 o'clock is nobody's damn business. Because when I'm here, I'm teaching.
110.
Same thing with cops. Title doesn't dictate behavior, except at your job. Now, without your calculator, you got to actually do this. Do I care about the negative sign? No. So it's 3.05 times 50. I don't care about the negative sign. I got to multiply this normally. You guys all remember grade 3 multiplication tricks. If there's a 0, all you got to do is add a 0 at the end, right? So really, I'm only going to multiply the 5. 5 times 5 is 5, right? Carry the 1, or carry the 2. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 0 is 0 plus 2 is 2. 5 times 3 is 150. Am I done? No, I got to add that last 0 because I multiplied by a 0. Now, have I multiplied normally? Yep. So now I count my decimals. How many decimals are in the question? 1, 2. So how many decimals need to be in the answer? 2. 1, 2. 152.50, except I knew it had to be negative. Was that close to my estimate?
Yes.
So did I do it right?
Yes.
Everybody good?
Yes.
Okay. So now you guys go ahead, turn the page over, and do that one. And I want you to do it with your calculator and without your calculator. And then when you are done, you're going to do some textbook work, and I'm going to tell you what to do, because it's not going to be 1 to 18 on page 127. It's going to be less. Paneet, what?
Really, how far the exam is going to be in this classroom is going to be like different.
Why don't you worry about that on August 6th? Worry about what you need to do in front of you right now. So with the calculator, real easy. 80 bracket negative 1.13 to get an answer. You're going to punch that in, get whatever it is. I had my calculator up, invisible. Negative 90.4. Is that the right answer? We're talking about money. Is that the right answer?
No.
No. Money is the only time that you're not allowed to drop that last zero, right? Because money has 2 decimal places. So if you were to write that out, and you were doing a multiple choice test in like grade 10 or in grade 12 when they bring provincial exams back, because they will, choice A will be that, because that's what's going to be showing on your calculator. Will that be right? No, because the right answer in money is negative 90.40. Cool? And then, of course, over here, without a calculator, you would have gone 1.13 times 80. 8 times 3 is 4, carry the 2. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10, 0, carry the 1. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9, add the 0, 2 decimal places, and a negative sign, negative 90.40. Everybody good? Okay.